Welcome once again to the Nobody Cares podcast. We are the number one podcast on the internet that talks about things nobody cares about.
Number one.
I am Casey Peterson.
I love that you don't even have to be factual stuff anymore.
No, it doesn't matter if you're factually correct as long as you're morally right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm John Andrews.
And I'm Mike Frazier.
Right. Mike, what do we not care about today?
We don't care about labels anymore. I know our grocery shopping behaviors have changed over the last 2 years. I tag along with my wife for the most part, and she introduced me to Aldi's, and now I don't care about Tostitos anymore. I get some generic chip through Aldi's called Clancy's or something.
What's it called?
Clancy's or something. Clancy's. It's funny, but they broke. I think I'm a Generation Xer, and I've always been loyal to brands, whether it be cereals or soups or chips. I mean, now I don't think I am anymore.
Speaking of things nobody cares about, if we can just segue for a moment, did you guys notice that CBS doesn't care about Generation X at all?
They don't?
Did you see this post that went around the internet over the last few days?
No, I didn't see it.
They created a list of every generation from the silent generation through the baby generation, and they left Gen X out. They went all the way through the millennials, and there's a big gap from 1965 to 1981, 82, that range.
That's funny because once the boomers all retire, like, we're going to be the only people doing any work.
Right. Well, and pretty much everyone's been sharing it as, is there anything that is more Generation X than being left out of the list? Like, totally forgotten about.
It's like the middle child.
Right.
You're like the middle child.
We're just here doing our jobs, everybody.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be offensive to millennials, but if I read another article talking about that, we shouldn't have to work so hard, and we shouldn't have to go, and it's causing me anxiety because my boss sent me an email after 5:30. I'm like, really, man? Really? Like that's fine. If you've got anxiety about your boss sending you an email after 5:30, please go drive for Uber or something. Just take control of your destiny and give it to the man. All right, back to private label.
Right.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. We're back to private label.
One more thought. I got a tangent.
I'm all out of thoughts, but that
I'm all out of thoughts.
Hey, we cover things nobody cares about. So.
That's right.
You guys watch it anyway,
right? All right.
So, Mike, your family is transitioned to private label. It sounds like, or what percentage of your stuff is private label?
Boy, I think we shop at Aldi's. I would say 80% now. So, very rarely inside of Aldi's do we get brand, traditional brands, brand stuff.
They don't have brands at Aldi. It's all private label.
Well, you know how they like those little racks, where they'll bring in some soft drink, Coke and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But it's random. And I even ventured into the meats of Aldi's. The whole scary meat section in Aldi's. How it's going to give you a mad cow or something. So.
Mad cow meat at Aldi?
Yeah. Didn't you guys have that rumor down south ever?
I haven't heard.
I don't think so. No.
He said it was from Australia and the scary meat. You don't know where it's coming from and stuff like that. So that's not true.
It's all the way from Australia to sell it.
That's crazy.
That sounds like logistics. That just doesn't make sense. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but that don't make no sense.
Right.
So I wandered into Trader Joe's for the first time a couple months ago, and it's all private label, the whole store. And
that's Aldi's premium brand,
right? And I was surprised at there used to be a stigma with store brands that it was cheap and in the negative sense, cheap and poor quality. It was what you got if you were poor. And
like oysters back in the day.
Or you have lots of kids like me, and you got to say, got a lot of mouths to feed. Right. And but Trader Joe's is fascinating to me because they've actually built a premium brand all around store brand.
Yeah.
Private label, store brand. There's no, you don't go in and buy Doritos. You don't go in and buy, what did I get? I got one of the little, the flip yogurt cups that Chobani makes,
It's got all the stuff.
Yeah, it's got the granola and chocolate and whatever on one side. You flip it over into the other side. It's awesome. Well, they don't have Chobani at Trader Joe's, obviously. They got the Trader Joe version.
Just take a bag of granola, take a handful, and dump some in your yogurt.
Yeah, but this is all together. And you know what Trader Joe's had for me at checkout? They had a spoon.
What?
Like a spoon. You gotta eat this.
But
right
you don't
now?
get a bag, right?
No.
You just get a spoon.
No, we're hipsters.
Well,
No, we don't do bags.
No bags. Yep.
Well, no, Aldi doesn't have bags, right? You got to bring your own, or they charge you a quarter.
Dude, I tell you what, the only thing that stresses me out at Aldi's is when we got to check out. Oh, my God. It is so fast paced, and I just feel I'm going to get run over.
So when it's the insight that you just shared, when I was on the food marketing team at Walmart, one of the insights that we knew is that people would buy Great Value, Walmart's big, kind of mainline private label, unless they were having guests. And
that's very true at my house.
So for holidays, they'd go back to Campbell's cream of mushroom, right? Because they, you don't want to be Poe, but the rest of the time, they would use the. We have really nice bottles of wine that we take the box wine and put it in when guests come over that don't appreciate wine, because we have some wine drinker friends, and I'm like, dude, we're not, we are not sucking down the $50 bottle of wine.
Card in the Bud Light.
Bud Light. Oh, I keep Bud Light in my refrigerator for my friends, because I'm like, they don't care. I'm like, well, I don't want them drinking the good beer, right? And they don't like it anyway. So
leave my sweet baby Jesus alone.
Go down, $6 a bottle. So you had some interesting insights into kind of Amazon's growth of PL.
Yeah. So actually, just yesterday, and we're recording this on, we're live right now. So it's January the 23rd. If you're listening to us on the podcast, it's a few days later. Because that's just how we roll. So SunTrust top analyst has estimated that Amazon's private label sales are going to generate $12 billion this year, which is a 40% year over year increase. If you factor in
that's like a third of a Target.
Right. If you factor in Whole Foods,
a lot of money.
It's going to increase to $15.6 billion, which is over 5.5% of revenue. By 2022, he says that Amazon's private label is going to be $31 billion in revenue per year, which that's a major trend.
I bet it'll be bigger.
I can absolutely see that. Well, not only do you have Whole Foods, you've Amazon Basics.
Yeah.
You've got
what's Whole Foods
Echo.
private label. They have their own brand that I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
But wow.
Yeah.
So I read
you've got the Echo, you've got the Kindles, you've got all the devices, you've got the microwave, the Echo microwave now.
I read that Amazon now has 150 private label brands and 330 exclusive brands. So brands just so you think about that as a competitive advantage, and it's insane. And Mike, I know we were ordering things from your Alexa earlier. Thanks. It's going to be you aren't going to stand a chance in voice ordering if you're ordering from Amazon, because what does Amazon recommend?
Yeah,
Amazon Basics batteries.
Yep.
Is there even any other batteries? Duracell and Energizer have to be in a world of hurt right now. Like, can you imagine going to Walmart and just seeing a giant display of Walmart batteries?
Well,
and then if this isn't what you want, go down this aisle and look at the bottom, and there's some Energizers.
Right.
Who cares?
Well, the only thing you care about in a battery is what?
Does it work? Is it cheap?
Does it work and is it cheap? You know, I know the first time I ordered Basics batteries because I was tired of us being out of AAA batteries all the time, and Mary Catherine would steal them out of devices, you know, for her stuff. So you go to use the remote, there would be batteries in there, and she's like, "Well, my batteries didn't work." I'm like, "Well, don't take them out of other things," you know. So I ordered some from Amazon, and I remember Shannon going, "Oh, these aren't going to last." You know, she had zero trust.
Right.
And now that it works, she's like, "Well, why would I pay more?" But you know, there's going to be a trust barrier. But you know, you can see a point where you're like, "Wow, this works better." I mean, I'm sure the people sourcing the Amazon Basics are like, "Yeah, if our batteries don't last, you know, fool me once, you know, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me." You know, that's what a brand's all about, right? But it's a battery.
You know what's fascinating to me is, do we actually know if Amazon Basics batteries last as long as an Energizer? I mean, probably not.
But you have a perception, right?
You have a perception, and so there. You know, batteries is a great example. There's a very big difference in my perception of Rayovac versus Amazon Basics.
True.
Which Rayovac is a brand. It's not really a store brand, but quality-wise, I put it in the category of if Walmart offered its own batteries.
Yeah,
but
they do.
Right. And so
I don't buy them.
But
I mean, nothing against Walmart,
but my perception of Amazon quality is actually much higher. I was actually sharing with John this morning, Mike. I got an ad yesterday for Amazon Basic khaki pants, $24, and more size options.
I cannot wait to see these.
I can't wait to get them either. There's more size options than I've ever
seen.
You got them? They're on Amazon Prime Wardrobe, so you get them for like 7 days for free to try out. You can order a whole box of stuff. And
now, do they have a label or something on them?
Amazon Basic. I don't know what's on there. It's
got like a
$24
pocket,
right? So I'm pretty excited to try
like an
Amazon
Alexa logo.
But my expectation is actually pretty high. I expect more out of Amazon Basic $24 khakis than I would expect out of a pair of khakis from Walmart for $28 or $30 or whatever they cost there.
Scare the living hell out of every brand in the world. Because I mean, if it's khakis and they, work.
Right. What can they not do at that point? They've got your batteries. They've got your clothes.
Hey,
what do you think, Mike? Amazon khakis?
You know what? It kind of, based on how my shopping behaviors changed in the grocery store, I'm totally open to try those khakis out.
Khakis. We're the only, I think Gen X middle-aged dudes are the only people left wearing khakis anyway.
Right.
So,
Wearing some right now.
We get overlooked anyway. Whatever.
Who cares?
Whatever. We're just a bank for our kids.
Uh-huh.
God. Well, any other thoughts on private label?
I think it's I think it's really interesting how, and I wonder if this has an impact, if millennials actually do have an impact on this. Although we're all Generation X, and our perceptions have changed. I'm sure from our perception of a private label when we were kids or teenagers, or at least old enough to recognize these things.
Oh man, I had what was the jeans that you couldn't wear holes in the knee? Tough Skins. Yeah. And I remember when I first got brand aware, like I would never wear those things ever again. like you were not cool if you wore Tough Skins.
Well, there's so many brands now that are the outlet. They're their own distribution channel. They're not a brand the way Coca-Cola is a brand who needs to get distribution. Pura Vida, who advertises like crazy to my daughter. Mm-hmm. Alex and Annie, I think, is a great example of a brand that is its own. There's so many brands that are standalone, and they manage their inventory, they manage their marketing, they manage their distribution, they manage everything, and they don't need a Walmart.
Well, and they can target so much more efficiently too, because they can get directly to your daughter.
Yeah, right. And so if you're if you're an Amazon, like you can move, if you can move into that space, if you're a mass retailer and you can move into that space, make the same profit margins as them, but at a much larger scale because of your, then yeah, you're set up for success. I don't know that Walmart can do it. I think there's a, I mean, I know they've tried with Jet Black. They've tried lots of things that are
how are their
high end.
Some of the things they bought doing. Any sense of what Bonobos and some of the other brands? Because there's a $125 pair of khakis for you. That I wonder how those guys are doing, because you can definitely tell that. I mean, that's part of their strategy, right? They're gonna buy some of this credibility of brands, but it's interesting that somehow the same brand trust issues that may be hurting a Walmart private label are helping Amazon, which are basically the same thing, right?
Right. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So I think Amazon batteries. Who do they who does their batteries?
Who makes them?
Yeah. Does anybody?
Well, probably. When I was at the oil company I worked for previously, we had a private label beverage. And I was really interested to learn that, and I've worked for a brand before that did some manufacturing from a factory that also manufactured other similar products. Mm-hmm. Most of the, your private label green beans at Walmart were made in the exact same plant as Green Giant.
Well, it's probably made by Del Monte.
Right. It was exactly.
You got to fill that capacity.
Right. They're filling their capacity up. So most of these batteries are probably made in the same place that Duracell or Energizer or anybody else is making their batteries. They're just slapping a different label on it because they don't need to make batteries 24/7, 365 days a year. But so if they have extra capacity, then hey, they make them for someone else.
Well, and the idea has been around for a long time that there's a brand tax, right? So you pay for that. You pay for all the shiny commercials and Tom Brady, shaving with Gillette and whatever, when you could just get a quality razor like Harry's,
which is fantastic.
I love
I picked up Harry's a couple
Harry's.
months ago, and I've been brand loyal since then.
My replenishment Harry blades came while I was away this week, and they were sitting there in my closet when I got home, and I'm like, dude, why would I ever think about buying razors again? Like, it just shows
$30 razors
up, and $30 razors, right? Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a huge mustard company up here in Ohio. They private label everybody across the country. They do all the Heinz. They do. I don't know if I should name them.
Figure it out. I mean, Google.
Sure, Google.
Ballpark mustard.
Well, a lot of the beer you drink is contract brewed, right? So we have a huge Stroh's plant over near Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and they brew like for Sam Adams and brew for other. They don't. All these folks don't make their products. They don't. There's no way they had capacity.
Yeah, Sam Adams. They have a huge facility in Cincinnati, Ohio. I think I could be wrong, but I think that's where most of Sam Adams is brewed.
Really?
Yeah. So when you think of Sam Adams, you think of Ohio.
Yeah, I don't. No. I mean, you think all their branding, right? It's Boston and it's Patriots, and it's made out of Thames River water in Boston or whatever. I don't know. Whatever. But it's not. It's all branding. It's good beer.
Yeah.
That's my go-to if they don't have anything else.
Yeah, for sure.
So I actually, just before we wrap up this conversation, found some interesting articles on, and I think it kind of speaks to your comment on the 150 or 300 brands that Amazon has exclusively. So there's a Amazon private label program that some people are getting involved with that appears to actually assist people like me and you if we decided to like, hey, I'm
gonna get in the private label
gonna get
business.
into private label business to source your manufacturing and slap your own logo on stuff and sell it on Amazon. So they're Amazon's going to make money no matter what. I mean, I don't know what you do if you're Walmart these days.
Amazon's just a channel. Well,
Right.
you know, I will tell you, I thought Walmart was a lost cause probably as little as a year ago, but man, they are on the learn.
They are.
and very impressed how, you know, I think they are really focused on their core customer now. So pickup, you know, they made this massive push into grocery pickup,
Right.
because they realized, you know, if I'm a mom or a dad and I'm busy and I got a couple kids in car seats and I got, you know, to go into a Walmart is not easy.
It is
Right?
not
You know,
easy.
so if I can just go through there and you make my life easy. So this is what e-commerce is really about.
Yep.
Is it's not necessarily that I'm you know, getting, you know, because people are making all kinds of different choices on e-commerce about how they want to get something. You know, we did the our CTO is a big fan of the group Jimmy John's order, right? So he places an order and you get an email that says, hey, Jason's placed an order, everybody places an order, everybody pays individually and our food shows up, right?
Yep.
And it's just amazingly easy. I'm not the biggest Jimmy John's fan in the world. I prefer Jersey Mike's, just personal preference. I kind of like their deal, but that's so easy. I do that because it's just easy. You know, even though
I don't like cold sandwiches, but I still order Jimmy John's because
don't they have a hot sandwich from Jimmy John's?
oh, I'm sure.
You should dig into that menu. Probably. Anyway, the Jersey Mike's is opening here soon, so
True.
I'm excited about that. And it's right next to our F45. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So I can work out and eat a 1,500 calorie meatball sub.
That's what you need. That's what you need. Cool. All right. So, what do you think the future holds for private label and for traditional brands, John?
I think it's gonna be hard to be a brand unless you're something special. I think if you're a fast moving consumer good brand, battery is a battery.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know nobody wants to hear that. I'm a brand guy. That pains me, but battery is a battery. If I put it in my smoke detector and it lasts as long as another battery, I don't care.
Yeah. Well, Ted Rubin, I think, routinely says that convenience is the new
Simplicity
EDLP.
is new.
Simplicity is the new EDLP, right?
Yeah, I wonder where he got that from.
Probably from you.
Steals all my stuff.
Mike, what do you think? You going more in on private labels?
I think I will. After the Aldi's experience, you know, I feel this new sense of freedom of trust in the private label.
Nice. I'll report back on my private label clothing experience from Amazon.
Maybe you wear them the next show.
That would be
Show
awesome.
them off.
I should do that.
Trust is going to be the key. If it
Right.
if it works and it's easy, I don't care.
Exactly.
Right.
All right. Thank you all for joining us today. You can find us, John and I, at Photofy.com, Mike at AvalancheMediaWorks.com, correct?
But most importantly, Pines Forks Friends. You can find
Pines
me.
Forks and Friends.
Speaking of beer,
That's right.
Right.
do you see all my Cuba beer?
I did. How was it?
It's great. There's only one, but
Small island.
I kept repeating the Good Morning and Good Morning Vietnam line. Billy Beer is the best beer in Vietnam. I'm like, Billy Beer is the only beer in Vietnam. So, Cristal is the preferred beer of Cuba. Is the only beer of Cuba. So yeah, it's much more of a rum centric kind of place.
And cigars, right?
Cigars are amazing. Like as you would expect.
I saw that one picture where they were wrapping them for you.
Yeah, they were. Although cigars have to dry, so we didn't actually smoke those.
Okay.
A good cigar takes 3 years to dry enough so that it's smokable.
Wow.
So yeah, I learned something. Because I was ready to smoke that thing. I'm like, oh, wow, it's a fresh cigar. They're like, no, you can't smoke that. I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. But I mean, now I know
It's
some
experience. Yeah.
experience.
What's the latest rule now? What's the latest law on that? There's no Cuban cigars in America, or is that coming? Or?
You can buy Cuban cigars in America now, and you can bring 200 back, or up to whatever the duty limit is, $800. So I brought back a beautiful box of Monte Cristo torpedoes, just gorgeous cigars. And it's no big deal. You can go to Cuba; it's no big deal. It's just no big deal. Awesome. Sailing there is a little harder, but it's still doable. Oh, I did learn this though. So the guys the ladies that roll cigars, right? So it's very focused kind of effort, and they would do it all day. And they used to have a story reader, so they would have somebody read stories to them. So Monte Cristo and Romeo and Juliet and some of these, many are named for the stories they heard.
That's fascinating.
Dang.
Fun fact.
Super cool. All right.
And private label. Yeah.
There you go. Private label.
Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you.
All righty. See ya.